Okay. So, yes. Yeah. So, my name is Leslie Deere. I am not at my studio, so Sean is going to play the video for me. Hopefully he's got better Wi-Fi than me. So, thank you for having me, Eva. So I'm looking at VR and shared group experience in VR and live audio visuals through gesture in VR, but with the intention of creating an altered state experience or a meditative experience or a transcendent experience. So next week, in fact, I'm pilot testing a prototype of this. So if this were happening in 2 weeks' time, I'd have a lot more information feedback, but I can share 2 bits of information from quite early on case studies with this. They were quite rudimentary. So I didn't have enough kit for everyone to be in VR at the same time, which meant that some people waiting on their turn had to witness a one-on-one encounter. And something really interesting has come from that, whereby people are finding it interesting witnessing VR while not being in VR, but sharing a performative experience all in the same place. So this sort of people in different realities, but having the same experience, which I'm going to look further into. And then also this notion of gamers versus non-gamers. So gamers tend to want to be more active and be more in control of the environment and do things, whereas I'm asking people to just sort of sit and be still. So here is a mock-up of the pilot test setup. So a small group of people in VR network to my headset, and the sound will be amplified into the room intentionally to try to make that be the foundational element that creates the shared experience. So I'll know more about this in a couple weeks' time. And just to say, there's different iterations of this piece. So it's prototyped. COVID totally put the brakes on this, but we've had a big push forward recently. And we've also just found out about some funding to work with an organization that works with neurodivergent and mobility divergent dancers and performers. So that's super cool. And we're going to also have a public beta of this at the Center for Contemporary Art in Glasgow. So get in touch if there's somebody you think I should speak to or groups you think might be interested in this. And I will hand over to you, Sean.
Okay. And I think you'll rejoin at the end. I'll pause just before the credits or at the credits.
Okay.
For the past several years, I've been exploring experimental gestural audiovisual performance. In a previous piece, I used a Kinect camera, and VR seemed like the next logical step to take this sort of work. This is a new work called Array Infinitive. The piece by its nature requires gesture to activate or produce the audio visuals. So the hand controllers, which move through space because of human gestures, control the sounds and particle trails in real time. And this can be seen in the virtual world live. We program certain sounds and processes like filters or reverb to the XYZ axis positions. The more I get used to the positions and improvise with the interface, the more I discover. New sounds, new combinations of sounds start to emerge, and in that way, it does become an instrument. The group experience is key here, and I'm basing this off my own group meditation practice. Meditation can often be a solo experience, but it's also quite powerful when done in groups. I'm also part of VR groups who meditate together online at a distance, and that is vocal and speech led. Whereas I'm sort of doing the opposite, putting a group together in VR and creating a meditative experience through audio visuals. The participants don't walk around in the virtual world. Instead, they're taken on a journey through color and sound. The performer becomes both the VR experience guide or meditative ambianceuse. So there's a direct connection to what the performer is doing, which is affecting the virtual space visually, and then in an audio sense within the entire room. The sound at this point in time is intentionally amplified into the space rather than through headphones. And I'm looking into this aspect as an anchor in reality and whether or not that adds to the group dynamic as a cohesive element. This is part of the research I'm currently doing. Seven scenes follow the color spectrum or chakra system, and elementally I'm linking the traditional combinations, such as earth with red and water with orange. So the first scene is grounding and earthy, and then moves to a juicy orange world, and then warms up in fiery yellow. Green is associated with air, and I've taken inspiration from cloud forests and floating worlds. Blue is about the voice, and I use a 3-part female vocal harmony here. Indigo is about intuition and the ether. And we journey into a more space-like realm. And finally, violet. We end with a prismatic, kaleidoscopic world where white light and rainbows refract all around. We've developed in Unity, and at the minute we're using local networking so that all the client headsets receive data from the performer's headset. I've been working with Chris Speed on VR development and visual effects. Lead development has come from Stuart Cupid of Solarflare Studio. The audiovisual interface was designed by Ross Flight, and we worked together previously on the Connect piece. And basically the piece works by sending OSC data between Unity, MaxMSP, and Ableton. Inspirations for this work include meditation, group meditation, color theory, color therapy, the color spectrum, the chakra system, psychedelics and psychedelic journeying, altered states, group work, somatics, somatic movement, frequency, tuning, and sound installations. I recorded several Glasgow-based musicians for this work, including Scott Morrison on clarinet, Sarah McWhinney on cello, and Kayla Surumabulu on process percussion. And then also members from the Glasgow School of Art Choir for the 3-part harmony. The singers included Beck Wonders, Kate Hollins, and Maggie Broadley. We recorded the vocals at La Chunky Studios in Finiston, and Vernon Breslin engineered.
The Zoom videos on Zoom, they butcher your videos. Sorry about that, you guys. That was super choppy. But hopefully it gave you an idea.
It was actually good.
Did you? It was super choppy on this side. But okay, that's good.
Your
Fine here.
Okay.
Yeah, we had it. Okay.
Okay, good.
It was good here.
Good, good.
If you want me to, I can put that video up on the website as well on YouTube.
Yeah, maybe just that is good. Yeah.
Okay, but no,
Thank
that
you.
looked great. Really beautiful piece of work, actually.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I think what is is quite fascinating is the experience of watching people in VR.
Yeah.
There's something about it, actually. It is quite compelling.
Yes.
And also the lack of cables has made a huge difference on VR, what the potential of VR experiences. You're no longer tethered. So you're seeing a lot more in the way of dance and performance and so on happening where the performers are wearing headsets. So that's really nice to see that.
Yes. Yeah. Wireless is good. Yeah.
Mm.
It's a good leap forward. Yeah.
And do we have any questions? Yeah, Maureen?
Hi, yes, I was just really, I really love the choreography. I've also, when I've been working with tilt brush artists like Fionn, and